Yo, what's up, everyone? Kyrios here, and we need to finish covering all of the big dev stream, and there is a lot to cover, and I'm not even kidding you. I'm going to try and keep this video under 10 minutes. We're going to try and roll it as quickly as possible, but we have things to cover like crossplay. They address some of the Amazon game concerns with the publisher. We have network tests, new features, camping, the way zones work. What the heck is a NAPO? The die shop, the crafting system, the guild system. And there's honestly, we probably won't even cover it all because I've got a giant list to do. So let's just get started, shall we? If you guys can't hit that like and subscribe, I'll be covering more Blue Protocol as we go along. Let's get started. All right, let's start off with the top of the list. If you have seen the Game Awards PV trailer where they announced that the game is coming out for PC, Xbox X, Xbox S, two different versions of it, and the PS5, they have announced that this game is not natively supportive of crossplay. Now, they did say that they are up to entertain and make that happen, but at launch, it looks like there is not going to be crossplay. So if you have friends that are on PlayStation, you have friends that are on Xbox, and you have friends that are on PC, you need to make sure you play on the right platform as of right now. Next thing up we do have is the publishers. Now, there has been a lot of concerns with Amazon Games and some other publishers, I guess, with being able to deliver this game. So they took time out of the live stream to address these concerns. And I'm going to paraphrase this because, once again, this is all in Japanese. Essentially, what they said is it's a Japanese game at heart. And the way that they are going to address any publisher changes that publishers want to do is they're going to ask, does that make sense for the Japanese population or for the Japanese feel of the game of how you make an MMO? If the answer is no, they're going to decline it. So as of right now, what they've said, any changes that a publisher wants to do, quote unquote, has to get proper approval from the developers. And they don't want to, and they did state that they did not want to support many different versions. So they kind of want to keep it all the same. So that should give some people some peace of mind, I hope. All right, next up on the list, we do have the network test, which is the Japanese closed beta. If you've seen my videos in the past, I've shown you how to sign up for this closed beta. Hopefully you did sign up for it with a VPN because I think they do check all that. But they did announce that they had way too many applicants. So it is going to come down to a lottery. If you guys get in, congratulations. You can also invite a friend in, or your friend Kyrios if he gets in. Just kidding. I hope I get in. Oof. All right, let's get up to the cool new features. First up on the list, we have fishing. Now, fishing is a new addition to the game. It's you can go to different points on the map. You can, essentially pull out your fishing rod, and you can do a mini game, which is the way that you get fish. There's a tension rod at the bottom, and it tells you the distance of the fish, and it's kind of a back and forth to pull the fish in. As of right now, it is just a mini game. It is fun. It looks cool, but it has no practicality. Now, what they said is that it's really hard to add practicality into the current crafting system, so they want to add that into the game. They just can't get it for launch, and probably what's going to happen is they apply that to cooking, right? But as of right now, all you can do is sell the fish. Another problem that they did solve that doesn't really require a whole bunch of praise here is that in the previous iterations of the game is if you fell in water, the only way to get out of water is you had to find steps. Now, that was very annoying to do. What they did is they now added the ability to jump in water. So you can actually get out of the water in many different areas, because there's people that would fall into the water and you have to swim around all these different sections just to find your way out, and it was very painful. This is actually the most exciting thing. I know it took us forever. I'll probably clip this in earlier in the stream. The Undying Tower looks absolutely amazing. So they have these towers that scale in different they scale in difficulty from different ranges and the amount of floors. Essentially, it's you bring in a group of friends, whether it's 6 people, I don't know how many people you can actually bring. And you'll start at floor number 1. You go to a certain tower. There's multiple towers. And the tower that they did on stream was called the Tower of Beginning. And you'll start at floor 1, and you'll have a timer. The goal is to get to all the way to the top of the tower before your timer runs out. Now, on the one that you see on screen, there's only 20 minutes to complete this tower. And so or 15. Sorry, there was only 15 to 20 minutes to complete this tower. The first couple floors were very easy to do, but as you progress the floors, they get harder and harder. Now there are recovery floors every now and then, but you still have to move very quickly so you can recover and progress onwards. These are going to be great, exciting things for people to do and to group up with people and actually take down these towers. Now, it'll be interesting to see if there's any kind of like repeatability to them so that, you know, friends actually want to help you out. But we'll have to see how that goes. All right. Next up on the list, we do have camping. Camping has teleportation portals. It's a place where you can go and gather. You can just kind of unwind and get your bearings sorted. Now, the way that you heal is by sitting. So you could sit around the campfire and actually heal. There's no mobs that are within tethering range to be able to get to these campsites. And there are vendors, supposedly, or quote-unquote chefs is what they said, are at these campsites, so you can replenish food or buffs or anything like that, or allow you to teleport to the main city or go backwards. Now, I thought the camping was really cool. It's cool that supposedly it looks a lot better at night. It's cool if you're in a party, you guys are all together, you can emote while sitting there. It'll just be interesting to see if there's, I would have loved, hopefully we see more if there's a crafting system of cooking. That would be really cool to see. And it would be really cool if it was more interactive where players can see you doing it. But maybe there is. I just don't have those details at this moment. All right, next up on the list, we have the way that zones work. And I'm going to blow your mind with what they said. Now, with every MMO I've ever played, whether it's Final Fantasy 11, 14, WoW, EverQuest, whatever, I played a lot back in the day. You have to do a server selection. So you always have to be, hey, come join me on my server. This is where I'm at. Apparently, the devs have said that Blue Protocol has only one server, no matter how many people are on it. And the way that they deal with this is by using channels. So they're just going to have one mega server essentially per region, and they're just going to have unlimited number of channels. And the way that channels work is, I'm showing on screen here, the map, is that anytime there's a dotted line, you're going to load between the zones once you go over the dotted line. Once you're in a zone, there's no loading, there's no load screens anywhere. Now, the town in Oasis can house about 200 people per channel. When you're out in the fields, it's about 30. When you're in a dungeon, 6. I mean, that makes sense because dungeons are only 6 players anyways. And then raids are up to 30 people. Now, it's a little interesting that the Oasis allows up to 200 people, which is the desert area, compared to the fields, which only allows 30 people. I'm sure there's a reason why they did that, but I'm a little confused on why 2 different open areas allow 2 different quantities of people. But I'm sure there's a reason they did that. All right, on screen here, you'll see these 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿. I'm probably getting that wrong. There's these hidden creatures that are all across the world. And they said it's a hidden achievement. So there is an achievement system in the game. So to keep your lookout when you're going through all the different areas, is from what the devs have said in the live stream, some are easier to find than others. And they do make a unique sound once you get close to them. Next up, that brings us to the salon. Now, the salon is free, or at least what I want to say is that the basic is free, at least from the translation. You can go to a salon and you can change everything. You can change your gender, you can change your eye type, you can change your hairstyles, you can change your colors, you can change the irises of your eyes, you can change your teeth. If you want to have razor sharp teeth, you can do that. Face paint. And then there's a lot more hairstyles that are going to be added to the game, probably from the battle pass system and stuff that we talked about in another video, which, by the way, that's part of the monetization video. You should probably go check that out. We won't really cover that here. I'll cover it at the very end to tell you to go over there. And then you'll have different ways that you can change your character over time. Now, most of these are free. That all the options that you have in the beginning are free, but there are advanced features that are paid that are one-time unlocks that you'll need. Now, there is one thing they did say is that when you're in the salon or the saloon or whatever you want to call it, you can save the way that you want your character to look, and then you can come back later when you get a change ticket. Now, the translation was a little rough, but apparently you can make unlimited number of changes that you want to do, And then as long as you use one ticket at the very end, it'll just do all the changes. But if you were to like change your eyes and use a ticket, change your hair, do a ticket, it'd be a very unoptimized way to do that. And you can earn tickets from in-game events and from other activities that you don't have to spend money on in order to change your appearances. Just like the salon, we have the dye shop. Now, the dye shop is for your gear. It's the way that you can change the way that you want your gear to look. There's many different accessories. There's underlying clothing. There's regular armor. There's weapon skins, and there's a bunch of different things that you use in the dye shop. And most of the base dyes, from what they've said, is free. Some dyes are monetized. Now, the thing I would like to know is that are these one-time dye uses, or you get them through the battle pass or some other ways, and they're unlocked permanently? We won't know until we actually see the game. All right, next we have a minor little improvement, but it's actually a cool little feature. They have the new Photoshop mode, which you can bring up to 11 friends into the same screen. You go into Photoshop mode, and it essentially screenshots their soul in place. Like, your friends can straight leave, and you can still configure the photo that you were looking to do based on this feature. It's kind of hard to explain, but they don't have to stick around, which is the nice thing about it. Next up, we have the crafting system. Now, the crafting system was really hard to... They didn't really cover it. I mean, they talked about it for about 2 or 3 minutes. Now, the crafting system, what they did say is that there is the regular crafting system where you can craft your weapons, you can craft armor, you can craft anything like this, and there's a randomization to it. So every single time you craft a piece of gear, it's going to have either sockets, from what they said. Maybe they always have sockets. But they'll have different ability and stats and skill upgrades. Maybe you'll have like a quick shot +1 on it. And there is critical success for these craftings. Now, we don't know if there's failures, but critical success allows you to get better stats and better abilities. Moving from the crafting system right into the plug system. The plug system is another way to augment your gear. Now, the plugs that you get are from general gameplay, free to play, whatever. If you spend any money or you don't spend any money, the only way to get these are from dungeons, events, out in the world, and different activities. But the one thing that does happen is once you use a plug to enhance your weapon, it looks like that you cannot reuse that plug without having a plug removal ticket, which falls in line with the battle pass and some other events that you can only get so many of those for free. As events happen. Woof, man, this video is long. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. That brings us to the guild feature system. They have a guild system that they like to call teams. You can bring in 20 friends into a team, and you can level up your guild system. And as you level it up, you can actually get 25, 30, 35. I think the max we saw was 40 to 50 members in the same team. They did say this is just a glorified chat system for now, and they're going to bolster that system as the game progresses. Woof. Okay, so I think I pretty much touched on everything. I know we're at the end of the video, and there's one thing we didn't really touch on was elemental bursting. I think I need to do that on its own video. It's we need a little bit more details. Essentially, there's a burst system. Kind of think of like a skill change system from some other MMOs, where you can stack elemental properties up and do these big explosion limit break things that either slow the enemy, stun the enemy, and do a bunch of damage. And there's fire, ice, lightning, earth, light, and dark. So it's very complicated from what you could tell, and you actually want to party up with similar elements so you can stack that a lot easier. I think I'm going to cover that on a different video where I'll probably cover Ending Tower again. And I just quickly wanted to talk about monetization. I did cover that in a complete video. If you're interested to see if this game is really free to play or pay to win, go check out that video. I think the way, just the TLDR, I think the way that they did monetization is pretty good for a free to play game, especially an MMO free to play game. But I would love to see your opinion over on that video. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Hopefully I covered everything in as much detail as you needed. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I'll be covering more Blue Protocol as we progress. I do appreciate you. Take it easy, and fist bump from me to you.